Hey, what's up, gamers, and welcome to the second episode of Too Cool Gaming School, the channel where, say it with me, you, the students, know more than I, the teacher. We're back, baby. They said it could never happen, but nothing's impossible until we say it is. Thank you to that one person, or maybe those two, who subscribed. I should know you on a first-name basis at this point, but I appreciate you giving me some of your time, and the comments left for me down below are only going to help this channel grow and help me make better decisions when I play games and when I'm out on the hunt. So today we're bringing you another pickup video. So let's take a look at today's lesson plan. We have a social studies lesson today as we take a trip down the Amazon. We are going to do a short punctuation lesson with our friends from Woot.com. And then we have some extra credit in store. Now remember, y'all, I'm counting on you to either glaze some of these pickups down below in the comments or tell me to hold on to those receipts. So the first game we're going to talk about, and I truly believe these are Amazon pickups, is a game called Under the Waves. Now, I picked this up not too long ago, and I think it was maybe $12. I've seen some gameplay footage, and it looks really fun. Sometimes underwater games can be, stressful, maybe give you that claustrophobic feeling. Other times they can be so peaceful. There's not a whole lot on the back to even explain what this game's about, but I just saw these stunning graphics of these massive sea creatures, and it just seemed kind of fun. I played a game not too long ago called Still Wakes the Deep, and it kind of took place not in the ocean, but like on an oil rig, and it was an awesome game. It's a game that I have not seen physical, but it is a digital download, and I think it was maybe $7. I strongly recommend that game. It was a lot of fun. It was like a foreign publisher, as the characters were, I believe, like Irish, but a lot of fun and not too lengthy of a game. This game also gives me some of that Song of the Deep vibes as you're in like an underwater sub. That's a game I own but haven't played, but I've heard lots of good things about that and the sequel. So Under the Waves, I'm going to give it a shot. If you know anything about this game or you've played it, let me know. It's still sealed, but probably can't be returned given that I've had it for a minute. Now the second and the only other game that I can confirm came from Amazon is this game called Endling Extinction is Forever. Now, the thing about this game is maybe some of you have heard of the game Spirit of the North, which I think you play the role of a fox, and every time I'm at GameStop trying to find that fourth game for the deal, I pick up Spirit of the North and never buy it because from what I've seen, it's sort of a mid-game. Now, why did I pick up this game, which no one's heard of, when I'm not picking up Spirit of the North? Well, I did recently play Spirit of the North, and yeah, I played a few minutes of it, and it seemed kind of boring. This game just kind of sold me on the graphics. It kind of gives me some Wild Robot sort of vibes, and it just looks like kind of like a watercolor painting. I'm not even sure if there's a lot of action to this game, or if you're just simply trying not to go extinct. Maybe take care of the babies in your pack. I don't know. Just a game that I might spend a few minutes on a rainy day just to get all the warm feels. Now for a couple of Woot pickups. Now for those who don't know about Woot, I believe it's an offshoot of Amazon, and I don't know how they do it, but the games that are on that site are basically dirt cheap. They even have a lot of first-party Nintendo games on there that are usually in the $40 to $45 price range when normally they don't go below $60 or $65. I typically use Woot for games that are in the $10 to $15 range, and yeah, they're just games I'm willing to give a shot to, sometimes go in blind. So this is a game I just picked up called Keiku. I've watched some game footage of it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Phoenix Rising, I believe. And a little bit maybe like Kena, Bridge of Spirits, I believe. The graphics look stupendous in this game. I'm probably even reading the title wrong, but it just seems like kind of like a fun action adventure game. I'm going to be honest, since I'm more of a collector than a player, not going to put this to the forefront of games to play, but maybe I'll give it a shot, or this could be a game that maybe I bring into school on a lunch bunch so that my kids could enjoy it. It says T, but I'm sure it's just for the fighting aspect. Doesn't strike me as a game that would have any language or anything that some 9 and 10-year-olds couldn't enjoy. Or who knows, maybe I'll get fired for bringing it in. The next game I bought, and this was, I think, $15. By the way, I think this game was no more than $15. But this is a game that, of course, we've all heard of this franchise. Now, this third one was not made by the makers of Little Nightmares 1 and 2. Maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I beat Little Nightmares 2, and so I was just kind of into the vibe of this series. I do like these action platformer games, Limbo, Inside, and the Little Nightmares games. This one was done by a different company because the company that was responsible for the first two was making a game called Reanimal, which I think has been released to praise and good scores. This game I'm not quite sure about. I think it does basically keep the same gameplay, but of course the characters look different. The one thing about Little Nightmares games is, as I was playing through part 2, I started getting this feeling that I had played it before, and maybe it's just because the first two are very similar. The villains or the enemies are very similar in the sense where they are, humans with these giant heads, or creatures and people that almost look as if they're puppets. I did still like it and enjoyed both games, but I really was getting a lot of deja vu while I was playing it. Now, one other game, and I've had this for a minute, I believe this came off of Woot, and this game I think was at the $11 or $12 price point. All three of these games, of course, are sealed. Getting them from Woot or getting a game through Amazon, they're going to come in like new condition or factory resealed maybe. So I love the Lego games. My son's picking up the new Batman game on Friday, so I'm pretty excited about seeing him play that. And I know this game didn't release to high praise or maybe any praise at all. And maybe it's because, the lack of emotion on the face of Funko Pops. I'm not a big collector of Funko Pops. I think I maybe own 2 or 3. But I do enjoy a game that has different franchises, and it says that there's over 20 different franchises connected to this game. I can't really tell from the cover what those franchises might be. I see a shark. I don't know if that means Jaws is a part of it. It does say Back to the Future over here, so I guess there is information on the cover here if only I looked closer. Jurassic World, Chucky, Five Nights at Freddy's. Nope. So maybe some franchises that don't have any other game relation otherwise, but it's a game that I figure for $10 or $11 I could give it a spin. Alright, so how are we doing so far? The neat thing about these first 5 titles is that obviously Funko and Little Nightmares are familiar IPs, but whether or not these games are good, I like the fact that they are somewhat unique titles, right? These are not AAA first-party games, and so some of them may have value at some point. Some of them, or all of them, are probably on a limited print run. And I also like that, it allows me, by using Woot or even Amazon, to continue to build the library of the last generation. It is such a good time right now to collect for PS4, and it seems like it's always a great time to collect for anything Xbox, as those prices outside of the 360 never really seem to skyrocket. Now it's time for extra credit, and these are just a bunch of random games that I've picked up here and there. Nothing spectacular unless you tell me otherwise. So this is a game that I did pick up at GameStop, and unfortunately it wasn't during one of the 4 for $40 price 40/40 deals. but it was after a day at work where I just felt like I needed to spend some money. So, where a woman might go, get their nails done or pamper themselves, a gamer is going to go below $20 on a game that he could probably have picked up for $10 if only he waited a week or so. Anyways, this is like the Walmart version of the Indiana Jones game that's been out for some time on the PlayStation. And I have wanted that game basically since it launched. In fact, I think 2 years ago, my wife tried to buy it for me for Christmas. Now, it only came out on the Series X. And so I don't own that system. And so when she went there and they told her that it was coming to the PlayStation, she pre-ordered it by only putting down $5. Now, I think it was a full year before it came out onto the PlayStation. And in the meanwhile, I bought a million different things from GameStop, including using that $5 credit towards something else. And, then it came out. And that game, that Indiana Jones game, has not gone on sale. I believe it's been at the $69 price point since the moment it came out. So here I am buying a game that is probably not nearly as good, but it's called Deadfall Adventures. Now, this is a game that I had never heard of, never seen, and all of a sudden, maybe in the last 5 months, I've seen it at GameStop 3 different times. And I believe one of those times was during a sale, and I couldn't pull the trigger on finding a third or a fourth game. That's how bad the selection was, that I only could see and find 2 games. One of them was this. I probably should have bit the bullet and bought 2 additional games. But happy to have this. It is in great shape. And a friend of mine does own it, and I think he has given it some high praise, or at least said that it isn't, dog crap. There is a craft co-op store near me, or I'm not even sure what to call it, but it's those places where people put all their junk, for lack of a better word, in glass cases. Sometimes it's baseball cards, sometimes it's creepy looking dolls, and sometimes you have some video games. So this game I picked up because, as I mentioned in the last video, my collecting journey right now has me trying to complete mini sets, right? Not complete sets for any system. And I've had Condemned 1 on the Xbox forever. So, and I've played it, not beaten it. And this game was in beautiful condition. I mean, the booklet looks absolutely mint. And the disc, I'm hoping, is wonderful. But I'm happy to spend, $10 to support local businesses, especially when GameStops are closing, and even places like Target and Walmart are reducing their physical selection of games. So I enjoy Condemned 1. I'm not sure which of these 2 is better. Usually a sequel, right? They try to work out all the kinks and make it bigger and better. So if you've played both of these, I'd love to know which one you prefer. If you have this on the 360, I believe it is backwards compatible. So getting this on the 360 would have been a smart move, but they didn't have anything other than this one on the PS3. The PS3, by the way, is a console that I got long after the Xbox, and I just don't play it as much, probably because I absolutely fell in love with the Xbox 360. That became my favorite franchise, which was replacing the PS2. I now feel as if maybe the PS4 is my favorite, but all 3 of them, it's like a neck and neck race. So I still try to buy for the PS3, but there's so many games that are featured on both the Xbox 360 and the PS3 that I have most of the best games on both systems already on the 360. So if it is a unique game or a game that is exclusive to the PS3, like 3D Dot Game Heroes, then of course I have that. But I guess if it's on both consoles, I'm just going to get the one that I see first. Anyways, moving on. This was one other game, and it's not in the best condition. I believe this was $7, so together those 2 games probably cost me about $15. There's no manual, which kind of stinks, but I have a bunch of the fear games. I do like, survival horror. This game, I believe, is a first-person game, and that is not my forte. I tend to get really bad nausea when I play games like that, but I think I have at least the other two fear games, maybe not Fear Files, but I just wanted to complete the set. And rounding out the last of the pickups and my extra credit are 3 games that I picked up at Walmart or got through Walmart Plus. And this is a game that's somewhat new. I tend to be more of a retro collector, and I don't always get the brand new games, although I have, Expedition 33, right? I picked that up when it came out, which was awesome because soon after I picked it up, it wasn't found anywhere. So, Crimson Desert. This is a game I'm really looking for some feedback on because I know this game was scored at like a 7, and it seems like maybe the open world is sort of barren or there's not enough going on. It does seem kind of like Scrolls, but Elden Ring light. Maybe like a Lords of the Fallen. Maybe I'm completely off in that comparison. But the reason I picked it up was I was just wandering around Walmart, and this game had only been out for maybe 3 or 4 days. And it was priced at $39.99. And right away I was thinking, that seems odd. Is it mispriced? And I looked up on my phone, and Best Buy and Target and GameStop all had it priced at $69.99, which is the price it released at. And I just picked it up for $40, thinking if I read some horrible reviews, I can just return it, a couple of days later. But here it still stands and will probably be sealed for a bit. If this is a game worth getting into, because it's probably a game that needs upwards of 60 hours to play, let me know if it's worth my time. And the last 2 titles from Walmart is Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy. So I bought this on the Xbox One because it's still priced at $30 on the PlayStation 4, and this was priced at $15. So I picked it up. I own, of course, all of these games, GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, and I know they're all considered some of the best games, maybe of all time, certainly during that time period. I've played them all. I've most recently really been working through San Andreas, and I was playing it simply on the 360, I believe. And so I figure this game got a ton of patches from when it came out. And when it came out, I think everybody said this is not the optimum way or the definitive way to play this game. Now I believe it is. I think they got the lighting improved and the frame rate. So I would love to beat these games because I kind of feel like if you're a gamer and you haven't beaten these games, or a gamer from the 80s and 90s, and you haven't beaten these games, then you're going to get your gaming card revoked. Last but not least, and this game just came in I think 2 days ago, is a new copy, and it's in a factory reseal, and it literally came like this, to the point where I can slip the game out of the plastic. Now, the only reason I'm not completely dissatisfied with this copy is I'm pretty sure my money was refunded by Walmart Plus after trying to order this, and I believe I was told it was out of stock. Now, I also tried to pre-order Resident Evil 5 on the PS4, and I did that twice through Walmart, and both times my money was refunded. So I'm not sure who the third-party sellers are that are connected to Walmart and why they keep posting things that are not in stock. But the neat thing about this is, of course, I own this on the 360, and I think it comes with either 3 or 4 discs, which is kind of cool, right? It's kind of fun when you have some of those games that are multi-disc. Lost Odyssey comes to mind as a 4-disc game, I believe, or maybe Blue Dragon. I think that might be more than 1 disc, but this is a game that comes all on 1 disc. And so I never beat L.A. Noire. I enjoyed it. Again, I love that Rocksteady formula of the games that they put out. But now to have this game with everything on disc, with a graphic, uptick, it seems like the way to play it. And this is a game definitely that I want to make sure I have completed. So, that being the case, boy, can I make a 8 to 10 game pickup video last a long time. Hopefully you stayed with me for those 20 minutes. I know your time is certainly important, but I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Let me put it this way. This channel is more your channel than it is mine. I am looking for your feedback. I am looking for you to sell me on or convince me otherwise on these games. So again, please comment below. Let me know if any of these games, which basically all were priced at about $15 and below, were worth it. Do you have better options where you live to pick up games, or are you doing a lot of your shopping online like I had to do in this pickup video? There's nothing better than walking into a game store and perusing the aisles, but that's getting harder and harder to do. Until we meet again, class dismissed.